haven't been showing them together so many times, maybe 2, 3 times. And each time it felt very different from showing them separately, even though you never know, of course, if the people will see them together or will only see one of them or 2 of them. But I do give a lot of importance to the idea of coherence and the idea of writing my own films too. And for me, making films is about what the films themselves are, but also about how deeply connected they are and what pardon, I will switch to French for a second, is that okay? Et c'est aussi la question pour moi importante, c'est les films en eux-mêmes, ce qu'ils racontent, mais c'est aussi ce qu'ils forment, le dessin qu'ils forment ensemble. So yes, it is very important to be able to show them together.
T'as de la chance d'avoir trouvé ton équilibre en tirant un trait sur le passé comme ça. Ça, j'y pense moi aussi.
I think that became an intention while I was writing the film. Maybe not from the start when I thought about making a film that would be a portrait of a character inspired by my brother. At that time, to me it was just, again, the same kind of film I was doing, but the more I wrote, the more I went on in the process of writing the film, the more I realized that making a film about this DJ figure, about this boy inspired by my brother, was actually making a film about his generation, and not because I wanted it, even though then I started to want it to, but because that was my brother's life. And then I started to consider that like some kind of big chance for me, the fact that it wasn't something that I really decided or that I first wanted, that wasn't the first purpose of the film, it wasn't something theoretical, but then making a film about this character allowed me to experience a new kind of storytelling in a way, even though we still focus on the character and at the end it's really about him, but still, because my brother, who has been a DJ during 20 years, because his life has really been about that, like being in a group, always been surrounded by a lot of people. It was a totally different life than the one that I had, or the life that kinds of life that you see in my previous films. So it was for me some kind of new opportunity to experience a new way of making a film and a new territory actually. And then yes, it became a desire from me to make a film about my generation, something that I can't help to connect with Something in the Air, the film by Olivier Assayas, because when I watched this film, it was right after I had done Goodbye First Love, and that was the film that he made about his own adolescence. It was a very personal, intimate film, but it was also a film about his generation, and then progressively I realized that making Eden was a way for me to talk about my own generation, which is actually so different from his, even though there are some things that are totally universal, and that is everybody's. It's about any youth actually, but you have both you have things in common, and you have things that are really part of their time and that are very different. For me, the big start is really making films. I mean, there was acting in 1, 2 films was very important, was crucial, because it was the moment where I discovered the set, what it is to make a film. And writing on films was also very important, because it helped me a lot in understanding actually who I was. But it's really when I started making films that I realized that it was for me about giving a meaning to my life. And in the way I make films, also it has to do with because of the kind of inspiration that I have and the connection there always were between my films and my own life, or people around me, my experience of life. Yes, making film is really about, it's not only about making films or trying to make beautiful films, it's much more than that for me. It's really about, I don't know if I should say about becoming happy, because anything is about that anyway, but I mean, it's really about finding a meaning, and there is a constant dialogue from me back and forth, I mean, from life to film, and making film allows me to live in this constant dialogue, and I think that's why I enjoy so much about it. I could understand that people would find it insane. People would think in the contrary, you should really separate both. But for me, strangely maybe, it's the fact that I mix them. I put cinema in my life and my life or life in cinema, and it's this constant mixture that helps me to find a balance.